let's start with the Flames. Again, these are guys starting under 60% of Yahoo leagues that you think could maybe score possibly 13 or more fantasy points and a half-point PPR. So, Horvat, where you going to stack your chips?
With no Cam Scattaboo, unfortunately, I'll actually go with Tyrone Tracy. Oh, my God. Against the 49ers. Man, I'm just going with a lot of Giants. What could go wrong? So Scattaboo has that season-ending injury. So now here comes Tracy, who was clearly running back number one this last Sunday. He finished with 10 rushing attempts, 3 targets, compared to just 1 target and 2 carries for Devin Singletary. We saw him perform as a fantasy running back too in this system just last year, and he gets this good matchup against San Francisco. They've given up the 4th most yards before contact per carry since that Nick Bosa injury. They've also given up the 6th most receiving yards and the most receiving touchdowns to running backs. So I kind of like Tracy against San Fran if you're desperate this weekend.
Yeah, it could be a good call there. I think he's going to be teetering in RB2 status. So it'll be really contingent on game flow. But, he's a guy that can catch a lot of balls, a converted wide receiver out of Purdue. So it could be sneaky good in a points per reception league. So looks like this one's going to go on the Baltimore Ravens. Unsportsmanlike conduct. I believe it's on Rashad Bateman. He was yelling and screaming at the refs. He wanted a flag, did not get it. Quick 3 and out. Miami's going to get the ball back and has a chance to make this thing interesting. 9:05 remaining in the first half. My guy is a little bit of Bam Knight, also known as Zonovan, the former New York Jet, now a member of the Arizona Cardinals. Get no Trey Benson. We all know when he's going to be back, but man, he's got a sensational matchup this week in Little D. I wrote about him as a member of my Fantasy Flames column at running back on thegamingjuice.com. If you want all the gory details, you check it out there or listen to me now. Dallas number 30 in rush EPA defense on the season. They've allowed the 3rd most fantasy points to running backs on the year. Give it up. 4.93 yards per carry, 119.9 total yards a game, and 10 total touchdowns to the RB position. Bam Knight, not spectacular in the advanced analytics. 2.21 yak per attempt, 10.3 missed tackle percentage. Those are really kind of unsightly numbers, but he scored 2 touchdowns in his last 3 games. They released Michael Carter, then signed him to the practice squad. He's going to be the main man. It's him and Amari DiMercato. DiMercato's going to be more of the COP, the cop, change of pace. So I like Bam Knight to go for like 50, 60 combined yards. I think he's going to find the end zone as well. So he'll get it done in a pinch in 12-team and deeper leagues here in week number 9. All right, let's flip the coin and go to the fantasy lame. And these are guys starting over 50% of Yahoo leagues at the running back position that you believe are going to bomb in a negative sense. Who's at the top of that list?
I'm going to go with Alvin Kamara. I'm not going to say he's completely washed, but all career lows right now. We're looking at career lows in yards per attempt, rushing yards per game, receiving yards per game, yards per touch, yards per catch, all categories. Second lowest success rate is both a runner and as a receiver out of the backfield. The offense is struggling. I know you got a rookie quarterback making his first start, so maybe you're thinking some dink and dunks. But going against the Rams, man, the Rams have given up the 2nd fewest fantasy points per game, and they've only given up, 1 total touchdown to running back. So I'm staying away from any Saints against the Rams this weekend.
Yeah, and I feel the same way about Jordan Mason, man. He's going to be a stiff block, as his last name implies, in a negative sense. Detroit, number 7 in rush EPA defense, have allowed the 5th fewest fantasy points to running backs, surrendering just 3.97 yards per carry, 65.9 rush yards per game, but only 4 touchdowns to Plowshares as well. Mason's RB27 on the year. Not good, not great. RB 29 in yak per attempt, 13.6 missed tackle rate. I like nothing about this matchup, especially given the unknowns there at quarterback and JJ McCarthy, who is still very wet behind the ears, still very green. And I think there could be a lot of stacked boxes as a result. So I'm fading and sitting Jordan Mason. Shaka special time. Guys under 15% started in Yahoo leagues. The guy certainly off the radar. That could shine, that could surprise, and you're going with a player that we already mentioned earlier in the show. Who is that?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kyle Monangai. Last week, I had the over on his rush attempts. I already bet that. And we're waiting to see what's up with DeAndre Swift, who's got a groin injury. Now, he's been DeAndre Swift, even, with an injury, he's been running back 6 over the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, playing the most efficient ball of his career. But Monangai is starting to get more of a workload, man. Like we talked about early in the season, 42% of the team's backfield touch share over the last 2 weeks. And if there's a chance that Swift can't go, I love this matchup against this Cincy run defense. So let's go with Rutgers great Kyle Monangai against the Bengals.
Yes, the 7th rounder is Riley Patterson is going to try to make amends for what he did on the last drive, which was Shankopotamus to the right. 43-yard field goal attempt is up. Starts left, but leaks to the right. It's good. 14-6. The Miami Dolphins still have a pull 7:57 remaining in the first half. I'm going to go with Jeremy McNichols of the Washington Commanders taking on the Seattle Seahawks. And you might say, man, that's a bit of a shocker special. Indeed, it is. And the reason being is this. I know Seattle is number 15 in dropback EPA defense. But man, have they been beatable in the short field against pass-catching running backs. They've allowed the most receptions of any team in the NFL to the running back position, 47 in total. And they're also giving up 51.3 receiving yards a game. That is a specialty. That is a strength of one Jeremy McNichols, who is top 10 in YAC per reception. He's averaging 9.3 yards per catch. If the Commanders fall behind at all in this game, and I think there is a distinct possibility that is very much on the table, McNichols is going to be a busy man after halftime. This could be another 4-catch game, maybe 35 to 45 receiving yards and a possible touchdown. You added maybe 15 to 20 on the ground. Hey, man, that's decent, especially in those leagues that have multiple flex positions that are 12-team and deeper. Yeah, they're not your family leagues. Your 6-teamers, your 8-teamers, your 10-teamers. He's not for those shallow-minded individuals, but for those that play in competitive and challenging leagues like yours truly. I know you do as well. You play in it's a desert out there on waivers.
Sucks.
McNichols could be a guy that could really surprise and get you the value that you need at one of your flex positions to carry you to the win, get you the dub, survive in advance. That is what fantasy is all about. And yes, people, I've already bet on him on the over 2.5 receptions at plus 120 earlier in the day. Also took the over on 15.5 receiving yards with McNichols. Again, Seattle is allergic to defending pass-catching backs in the short field. So, Horvey, you going to ride with me on McNichols props?
Yeah, I do like McNichols, man. And, so I got Breece Hall on a bye, and I actually looked at Jeremy McNichols right away, and somebody had picked him up about 2 hours before I could get to him on waivers, man. So I really do like that play, even against a good Seattle defense. And like you said, right now, during these bye weeks or with injuries, you kind of just have to survive in advance. So, even if a guy's only going to get, 6 to 7, 6 to 8 touches, there's a good chance with some of these running backs, they could crack one for a touchdown or they get some goal line work. So I'll roll with McNichols. The running back position for the Commanders has been an enigma all season long, man. Coming into the year, neither of us wanted to buy in on the Krosky Merritt Bill hype. And so I think McNichols is a strong play, especially if you're looking for somebody under 15%. I like that.